Good afternoon, extended day kids and fellow staff members. I just wanted to express, start my lesson here to express my disappointment, like we all feel that we're not going to be able to finish out this year. But serious, happenings take serious steps. So it's all best that we stay home at this point. I did want to say to the kids that I have sort of an example of what happened to me when I was in fifth grade, that unfortunately my school burned down. Luckily nobody was in it, everybody was fine. It wasn't burned to the ground or anything, but it was rendered not habitable for kids to go to school. So for the second half of my fifth grade and all my sixth grade at school, I had to go, well, all of us went to this place called Stigmatine Fathers, where there was a series of monks. They had a campus, and then we had classes at that place, and then we really actually liked it. It was lots of little classes, and we read outside and did all kinds of fun stuff like that. So this is obviously much more serious, and so we're forging on and teaching lessons, that you can do at home. And so right now I'm going to have Handsome Hubby go over to the table. First show you the example. What we're going to be making today is called fingerprint flowers. It's going to be a brand new lesson that I was going to introduce this year. And so I'm going to go step by step on how to do it, like I always do when I'm at Extended Day. So the very first thing I want to point out is that the materials that we're going to need. So you obviously need some type of paint. I don't know if you all have it at home, but hopefully some kind. The kind of paint I have, it comes in these tubes, and when you squeeze it out, it comes out as like a big thick glob like that. So obviously you can't do that using with finger, get your whole fingers in there, whole palm in there. So what you do is put a little water, and then you can smooth it out, spread it out with the brush like this, and then you can put the brush aside. And I did the same thing with the red. And then obviously you can even put a little bit more newspaper down than I did for the lesson. You have the white piece of paper. So I didn't have the 12 by 18 like we normally use at Extended Day, but I tape two pieces together. Even if you had to go with copy paper, what you have in your house, you can tape some down. I usually use the other side, of the side that's taped. The tape won't take the paint. And then I also have here the crayons for the background, marker for the leaves, the pencil to draw the stem. And so I'm going to just go ahead and start now. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the grass. And I like to combine with grasses, two different colors. So I'm just going to start from one end and work to the other. And I don't mind leaving some gaps, because that's when the second color green is going to come in and fill in. So we're just going along and filling in this grass. So obviously leaves and flowers could also be in a flower bed with some mulch, but I usually choose to do the grass because it's prettier. So we're going down to the end here. So now I'm going to fill in with a lighter green. Obviously you want to pick a different color green if you're going to do this with the two different colors. All right, so it's moving it along and filling in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make the flowers. And so what you're going to do is your hands are going to be smaller, so it actually work better. The proportions will be better. My hands are big, so it's sort of going to look a little top heavy. But with your smaller hands, it will actually work better. So you're going to take your hand and you're going to place it in the paint with your fingers spread. And you can move them around a little bit in the paint if you want, but once you get them onto the paper, you need to print them one firm place. So now if you see, this is what the hand should look like, and if you see any real gaps, you can fill it in a little bit. Your palm, in the middle of the palm, really never fully prints. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot to do the sky. So what we would do the sky first is you'd fill it in. I already have another example, so the example here. So sorry about that. But now I have my hand in paint. I'm gonna just go ahead. So now we're gonna print the first flower. And then if you have any little gaps like that, what you do is you fill in like this. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wipe my hand off, and then I have a wet, and I have a hand towel that I can dry it off it too. Okay, now I'm gonna go with the red, and I'm gonna print it down. And then if there's any gaps, then I'm gonna place this down. And fill in. Okay, now I'm gonna wipe my hand again. And then we're gonna, I'll go over a little bit of the sky now that my hands are gonna be dry again. So what I was gonna point out is that the way to make a cloud is that you draw with the blue crayon, just draw a squiggle little line like that. And then when you fill it in, you fill around the cloud, so that's how you get that effect. And you can put the crayon on its side like that. So that will get, you'll have the cloud be visible, okay? So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a pencil and you're gonna draw your stems. And you wanna make them pretty thick because your flowers are pretty big. And then you're gonna take the marker. My marker's running a little bit dry right now, but you're gonna take your marker and you're gonna fill it in all the way. And then it should, you know, especially a really good marker, that you can fill it in and it will go over the grass. And so I just wanted to go over with the two different, like you see in the example, the two different kinds of leaves. You can do like sort of loopy leaves or pointed leaves. So the loopy leaves, you just make a loop like that and it goes around and then it actually goes back into the flower stem, right? And like I said, I'm sorry about the marker running out a little bit. But now you're just gonna do the same thing with over here. And then this time, instead of the loopy, you're gonna go, sort of go out and back in, and that makes a point. And then in and out. And then if you wanted to be even extra creative and you wanted to create a bird or anything, I also have some other, I don't know, with a pencil to start, that you go over the sky. You can make some birds. You're gonna draw a little body here, little head, little beak, to wings coming out the sides, some feet. And then you could color it in with whatever colors you wanted. I have some markers right here. So I could make a little red bird if I wanted to. And it would go, again, it would go over the marker, the crayon in the background. Little beak. Some legs. All right. So that's the gist of it. Now that I have just a few more minutes, that I thought what I would do is show you what some of my watercolor paintings I didn't show you last week. So this is like a farm scene. I especially love my little shaggy dog in the front there. And then this one right here is sort of like a squirrel with his really cute ears. I really liked him, so I did him. And these are way back in the my college days probably. So I just want to wish everybody well, and I'll see you next week.